Welcome to the Sports Lounge. My name is Indiana Shills, filling in for Adam Engels, and with me in the room is the one and only Sean Kornuski. Sean, it's good to have you here on the show. Obviously, this is mostly your show. I'm just the fill-in here, but people are probably saying, "Oh, hey, Adam's gained a couple pounds here." Nope, just a fill-in for the week.
I think he's gained a little bit more of a stoic stature. That's
Yeah.
what I would say.
Well, yeah, we'll call it that. We're excited to be joined today by Jenna Geyer and Maddie Skorupski of the UW Green Bay women's basketball team, a Phoenix squad that is having an outstanding season. Green Bay is sitting at 18-5, a perfect 13-0 in Horizon League play, riding a 10-game win streak and firmly in first place of the conference. Now, Jenna has been consistent leader on both ends of the floor, coming off multiple double-double performances and recently earning Horizon League Player of the Week honors, while Maddie has made an immediate impact as a transfer, bringing scoring, rebounding, and defensive intensity to a team built on toughness and balance. With conference play rolling and postseason momentum building, it's great time to talk Phoenix basketball, so let's bring in Jenna Geyer and Maddie Skorupski to the show. Ladies, it's good to have you on the show here. Thank you for joining us. And Sean, we'll give it over to you to start off here.
Yeah. Well, first off, Maddie, I'm gonna kind of just start in by saying, what were the two of you thinking in that Friday night game right before halftime when you got 5 seconds left on the clock? You do a quick pass and you just almost did like a Brett Favre little flea flicker to her. I didn't think you were going to make it to the hoop on time. What was going through your head and how much intensity was that?
We were just trying to, get our, normal end of half situation going. They covered it pretty well, so just flipped it to Jen over, at the free throw line. She gave it back to me and started running.
You looked like a running back, like going straight through.
Hitting the A-gap pretty nicely.
Exactly. It was like the two-hole she was going. So that's awesome. Well, Maddie, let's start now with you. What has this team learned about itself through some of the league competition? You come from playing in Oakland, transitioning over here. What have you guys learned from some of the league teams that are playing?
I think a lot of it is just toughness. We've learned to push through, some adversity. Sometimes we start with a bit of a lead and then we start to lose it, and it's just pushing through and not letting, teams to start come back, but trying to, extend that lead instead of losing it. So I think just our toughness overall has just gotten better over the course of the season.
I agree. I've been to almost all your games and have noticed it's rocket fire the whole game with you guys, and I'm very impressed.
Yeah, we'll send it over to you, Jenna, from Circle Pines, Minnesota, named Under Armour Player of the Week in early January, the top scorer, 14.7 points per game on this UW Green Bay Phoenix crew. Was there a conference game that you felt the team really put it together on both ends of the floor?
That's a good question. I feel like our game against Wright State, that was a pretty good game. We came off a loss and off Christmas break, so I think just our intensity to prepare for that game. And I know we were clicking offensively. We had really good reps and just like motion in our fist action on offense, and then defensively, I think we held them, I don't know, maybe. So I think just like a really good defensive effort that game as well. And I think that was one of our games that we put together a full 40 minutes where we were clicking offensively and also getting stops on defense too.
Right. So, Maddie, the Horizon League, they've got some physical teams. How has that challenged you mentally and physically?
I think our coaching staff does a really good job prepping us in practice for that physicality. We have a really competitive league, a really strong league, so we go into every practice knowing that whatever team is next is going to be physical, and we're going to be physical right back. So I think it starts in practice, then once we get into the game, it's carryover at that point.
Right. And, Jenna, I noticed that over the course of the last couple months, you and Megan are really the powerhouses on the team. Is there a league opponent that you've played so far that brings out like an extra intensity or motivation for the two of you that you noticed?
I feel like one team was Cleveland State. I think they just play different against us, and I think they have a really dominant post inside. So that was a big effort, I think, from both Megan and I, because we switched off guarding her. And so that was one. I think in practice we were emphasizing guarding her pretty well, and then obviously trying to, do our best to score against her as well. So I think that was probably the one that we've had a lot of attention for.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're undefeated in the Horizon League right now, 9-0 in January. Was there a specific league win that gave the team so much confidence kind of moving forward? What was that?
Good. I don't know. I feel like just putting together just our wins after wins, and each team is new, like especially with the amount of transfers we've had. And so after playing all of the conference teams this first time, I feel like we've done a really good job at like learning something from each game. I don't know if there's one for me that stands apart from the others. I just think going into each game, now that we're going in the second half of this conference play, I think that we're just more prepared and know that teams will, we are undefeated. So I think teams will try to, defend us maybe a little differently, maybe try to put in other things to score against us. But I don't know if one particular game stands out. I think we've gained a lot of confidence through just learning something new from each.
Right. I haven't figured out what it is that makes your defense so dominant yet. I mean, when I think you're doing one thing, you're doing another. I mean, you really make it very, very tricky for the opponent. So.
Yeah. All right, Maddie. In close Horizon League games, what usually determines the outcome? Execution, defense, or composure?
I would say defense first, because obviously if it's close, you need to get stops. And then I think execution falls right along with that, because you need to score on the offensive end too. So first defense, you got to get your stops, and then executing. I think a specific one of that was our Cleveland State, where we had to get stops and we had to go down and score. And Christina hit a big three for us, like that. Those two paired together on the defense and offense, win the close ones.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about adversity, and then, responding to some of those tough conference games and the path that you have to March.
All right, we'll be right back after these commercial breaks, guys. Welcome back to the Sports Lounge. I am your guest host here today, Indiana Shields, joined by Sean Kornuski, Jenna Geyer, and Maddie Skorupski. Good to have all of you here. Now, we're going to go ahead and let Sean take the lead on this next question.
Yeah, just talking about, like I said, about adversity. We noticed that, in conference play, it can be a grind, right? What has been the toughest stretch of the season so far? And this could go to both of you.
I think, I don't know.
In conference play?
Yeah, in conference play, yeah.
I think the times when we've had maybe one or two where it's like a Saturday, Wednesday, and then we have one of those coming up. I feel like those are, no matter who we're playing, just like getting the game, winning it, and then moving on to the next one, like preparing for that one, having like maybe a day or two in between. Those are I think are like more mentally like, oh, we got to get this one done and then move on to the next one. And I think those are good challenges for us to just execute, and then continue to just work hard in practice and follow through with our game plan for each individual.
And don't forget your studies, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we were talking with Noah out of the cross country team, and he said that he'd sit in the bus with a laptop on his lap and be doing schoolwork. So it's like it's just nonstop for you guys. But having like a competitive sport involved with your education, I mean, that just leaves you no time.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Yeah. Now, for the two of you, obviously everybody has an off game. Was there any game that you guys have had to push through personal frustration to help the team?
I think that there's been for sure some games where, I might, not be hitting my shots or get, have a few turnovers in the stat sheet. So I think just, continuing after those like rougher plays and just like, grinding it out for the team because at the end of the day, our program's about the team first, not
Yeah.
any individual player. So if you have a turnover, if you miss a shot, miss a defensive assignment, it's just the next play because you can't dwell on it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep building.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, especially like you said, moving forward and not looking back in the past, because then you get stuck in your own head, and then that can really affect not only yourself but also your teammates as well. If you see someone sulking and stuff like that, it just really affects body language and team chemistry. So, what has the season taught you about handling pressure in meaningful games?
I think with some of the leads we've built in our games and then kind of lost them a little bit, like Maddie mentioned, that we kind of give ourselves, I feel like, put ourselves in pressure situations with that. And I think a game that stands out to me that we kind of had that happen was our home game against Detroit Mercy, where it was getting a little tight. And I think she did a really good job. Maddie did a really good job at keeping us, like, when we weren't scoring, like, she was the one, like, to get us back into that game. And I think just knowing that in any game, in any situation, we can trust any one of our teammates that are out on the court and know that, you know, it could be anyone's night,
Yeah.
any game. And I think that's a really cool thing about the way we play basketball is that, like you said, if you're not hitting your shots, if someone's a little bit in their head, you can always rely on another teammate to either pick you up or, you know, go out and make a big play.
Yeah, I noticed that, you know, even Ellie, you know, she
For sure.
like you can rely on her to come through. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I noticed that in a big way. She's a huge leader with the team too. I mean, realistically, I think that all the girls are killer, you know, leaders on the team, and thus why you're doing so good this year.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to kind of just see what road you take next year. And is there any thoughts of that right now?
I think there's a couple ideas I've had about potential, like, career opportunities with pursuing my academics, you know, with that, or possibly basketball. But
Yeah.
I haven't.
Haven't thought about it
Nothing
yet?
hasn't
Nothing
been
official
too
yet.
set in stone.
Rudy
yet,
was like,
no.
I want to coach. I'm going to take the
Yeah.
coach position. You know, and no, I mean that's respectable because you know there's so much right now. You're so young, and there's so many roads that you can take. How does this team stay connected when adversity hits, like during the game?
I think a big thing that we do is after any dead ball or foul or any type of stoppage in the game, we make sure to huddle up. And I
Yep.
think that's either a good reset or a good, like, hey, like, you guys are doing great. If somebody makes a good play, we shout them out. We're not rebounding or something like that. We get on each other, and I think that's a really big thing for us to just hold each other accountable in those huddles, and that happens like quite frequently. So that's a good thing for our team.
Yeah, you guys have a really good connection.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about coach now. How has your coach helped you elevate your game this season?
I think, for me, I've had her for last season was my first season with her, and I think that was a good developmental year for me, just kind of understanding how she works. And then this year, I think she's kind of taught me more of the leadership position on the team, and I think she's done a really good job at just kind of letting us figure out some of the things. Like we say we're player-led culture, and I think that really stands out to me about, you know, her trust in us as leaders to call people out for maybe not rebounding, or call people out, or even just encouraging them or coaching them ourselves in a little way. So I think that's been a big thing. I think she's taught me more this year than like maybe last year.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just holding each other accountable. And, you know, how does Coach Karius prepare you for that physicality and like the intensity that a league like the Horizon League really packs in?
I think it's just every day and what she expects from us, and especially our scout team, because she's not afraid to, get on them and say, we need more intensity from you. And then our scout team delivers, every single day, and we match their intensity. So I think just in practice, she does a good job of that.
And what does she emphasize most during those close conference games that are very competitive?
I think it depends on what's happening in the game. If we need to rebound, we need to rebound. we need to get stops, just whatever is needed, and she's right on when it comes down to it. So we just have to go out there and execute.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about how she helped, Coach Karius has helped you guys grow as leaders on the floor. What is something that she's taught you outside of basketball?
I think for me, just maybe the importance of like, I don't know, I feel like she's very like good at knowing that we have our own, you know, personal lives with families and stuff. And I think just her respecting that has been something that I've really respected from her.
Yeah.
I think she's really good at just understanding that there are things that go on outside of basketball. This isn't all it is. We have our school work and stuff like that too. So I think that's been something that I've really appreciated from her.
Okay. What about you, Maddie?
I would say the same thing. Being from Michigan, I think her importance or attention on our families, I think that's big. You know, whether it's giving us a little bit more of a break in summer or even just the rescheduling of a game for longer Christmas break. I think that stuff's big for family time.
All right.
I think we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll have more. We'll talk a little bit about personal growth and leadership.
Absolutely. We will be right back after these commercial breaks. Welcome back to the Sports Lounge. I am your guest host, Indiana Shills, joined once again by Sean Kornuski, Jenna Geyer, and Maddie Skorupski of the Green Bay Phoenix women's basketball team, having one stellar season so far. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about personal growth. Now, Maddie, how have you grown as a player since the start of this season?
I think one of the big things, or one of our goals for every game, is our turnovers, and I haven't been so great at that in the past in my career. So I think that big emphasis on taking care of the ball and not, trying to make the home run play, just make the simple pass or make the best pass for the team. I think I still need some work on it, but I think I've grown a little bit.
Make it an improvement, right?
Yeah, just trying to.
It'll be right there
steps.
at the end of the season.
Baby steps.
Baby steps for sure. Now, but for both of you, what have you learned about leadership through the Horizon League competition?
I think big thing I've learned is just when my input is needed and when it's not. I think in certain closer games we have some people who haven't experienced that yet just because of age. Freshmen sometimes sophomores, and I think just knowing when to give my input in those situations, and then when it's not at such like a crunch time position, like stepping back and letting other people on the team lead.
So going off of when you were playing for Oakland, and you were in that position where you're freshman, sophomore, how have you kind of diversified with the way that you take that leadership role?
I think the position that I was in at Oakland, it was a lot more, I think, demanding in that leadership area. So I think I was a bit more vocal, and now I have such, great teammates and a great culture that's player-led. So we have a lot more voices, and they're valuable voices that can give great insight. So just learning to defer to like people like Jenna. She's been here for 5 years. She knows what everything. So just knowing when to talk and when to just take a step back.
Yeah. So there's no doubt the season can be a grind. It's a very long season. It's very demanding. What motivates you to kind of stay locked in during the grind of conference play, and honestly, just during the whole season in general?
I think for me, keeping in perspective that it is my last year is something that keeps me even just like maybe you dread going to practice one day. I'm like, I never do that because I'm like, this is it. This is
You're gonna
like,
miss it one day, right?
Absolutely. So I think just keeping that in perspective of this is all I have left, and so enjoying every like the hard moments, especially. Like I'm gonna miss that someday. So I think that helps me to really, never take a day for granted.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it.
Quote Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast.
Yeah, life moves pretty
right?
fast.
Yeah.
Maddie, what about you?
I think just knowing that, what our end goal is, and that's a big goal to have. We want to win championships here, and being a transfer, and I haven't, done that yet. So I think just for me personally, and I know a lot of people who are this is their first year here, it's you want to continue that winning culture and that standard of winning that Green Bay has, and you don't want to be the team to let that drop. So I think that pushes me, and then kind of what Jenna said, we just have some great people, so it's just easy. It's easy to show up. It's easy to go to practice and have fun while getting better every day.
Yeah, well, there's a good bridge for the next question. Speaking of great people, what makes this UWGB team special compared to other ones you guys have been on?
Take it.
Sure.
I've only been here, so.
Yeah, I guess that probably makes it a little easier for Maddie to answer here.
I think that the group of girls that we have is just amazing. I think that each one of us has our own, interesting personality, and we've found a way to just mesh, and everyone can come together. And like I said, we have fun, and we get better, and we compete, and we know that we're all working towards the same goal. And I think that that's a big thing to have 14 people all bought in on the same thing, no matter, what the situation is. We all know what our end goal is, and we're all working towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean?
Well, now I got to experience pregame with the guys. The whole locker room experience, getting pumped up. I got to ask you, what kind of mindset do you go into with the whole team before the game, and what's that like with pregame?
I feel like there's a section of warm-ups that it's kind of just we're just kind of having fun. Like the music is blasting.
You guys are just vibing.
Yeah, and I know you like to do that a little bit. You're just like messing around a little bit, and I think that just gets you like. It is supposed to be fun.
It makes you loose too. It's a lot easier to go into the game. You're so prepared on this game, but it's a good reminder to it is just a game at the end of the day. So have a little fun while you do it.
Yeah, and then I think when we head into the locker room, we see the notes coach has about what the game plan is and stuff. I think that is kind of when I lock in a little bit more, just about getting a little closer to the game, and so. I think there's a good balance of both, where we're having a lot of fun, and I think that shows when we're playing too. So I think there's a good balance with that.
Absolutely. So you two are two of the top 3 scorers on UW Green Bay's team this year. But who's been kind of an unsung hero for this squad this year? Feel free to shout out anybody.
We got a lot of them.
I know.
I don't know.
Remember, they're probably all going to watch.
Yeah, every single teammate.
Every single one. I think that's the cool thing about our team is that, like I mentioned earlier, it could be anyone's night. And I think, too, that the people who maybe don't get as many minutes still have such a huge role on our team. Like Maddie's mentioned a lot about our scout team. And that is, like, there are a few of our players who are on that team. And I think that's developing them as players. Like, I was on the scout team as a freshman, as a sophomore. And I think those are really no one's going to see that in a game because they're maybe not getting as many minutes. But I think that is such a key, crucial part to what we do here is that everyone's role matters. And I think, like, Gracie has been huge for us, Christina. I think those two are, like, off the bench. Those two have put up – they just have had really good performances all around. So I think – I would say those are 2 people I'm going to shout out, but I think that everyone deserves
Everybody
a shout out.
deserves their
we
flowers.
we have our own roles, and I think we all do that. Play those roles really well.
You know how to fill the gaps. That's what matters. Looking ahead, we've got this yellow brick road that we're following right now with you, getting ready for the NCAA tournament. Possibly appearances, getting even further into. I mean, the favor is all really with you right now. What does the team need to do to give that final push and make a possible appearance?
I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I would say just not get complacent, not, go into these upcoming games and think, oh, we got it, take our preparation a little less seriously. I think we're not going to do that. We're going to prepare. We're going to get, each game is important no matter who we're playing, no matter what the ranking is, because it could be anyone's night in this league. I've been here 3 years. It could be anyone's night.
Right.
So,
who do you see making those big steps right now, like within the last 2 weeks?
I think there's a lot of movement going on in the league, and I think, like I said, it's a toss-up. I think there's just so much talent in our league, and like I said, anyone could just have a
Yeah.
game. So it's just prepping for each and every team. Like I said, it doesn't matter what the standings are. Just knowing that there's players on every team that they're gonna come out and they're gonna give you your best shot, and it's just not letting them have it.
Yeah. So there's no doubt fans are absolutely crucial to making the games, more energetic, more fun for you. And what if there's one message you could give to UW Green Bay fans right now about the support they've given to you throughout the season? What would you say to them?
I think in my time here, I've realized that they are what makes it so special. Like they are everything for us. Just like even the individual support. Like we have a group of ladies, I guess, and some men, I guess, I don't know, that they like actively are supporting, fueling us in our locker room and just giving us little like finals gifts. And that I don't know if you're getting that everywhere. And I think that's a really cool thing, even just packing the crest.
Yeah.
Almost every single game. I think you don't find that in our league, and that's invaluable. Like that to me is what makes it so it's so easy to stay here.
Yeah.
Like you want to play for here because of the fans, and you know that they love you, and it's just such a fun crowd to play in front of.
Maddie, did that have any impact in transferring to Green Bay at all?
For sure. I had played, at the Crest a couple times before, and it's not as fun on the other side, but to have that support around you, even, I don't know what the song's called, but right before, line up, the announcing, Pump It Up, maybe.
Yeah.
There's some song that everyone rises, they're all clapping. Like, it's just such a fun environment that, like, it's really not, anywhere else.
For sure. All right. We're going to rapid fire a couple fun, light questions here to end the interview. Who brings the most energy to the bench during games?
I think there's a group.
There's
I
a
would
group.
say we have a Soph, Jules,
Marty's
Marty,
good. Cammie's
Madison,
good if she's on there. Yes.
Callie.
Callie.
Perfect.
Callie
Yeah.
Madison.
If the season had a theme song, what would it be?
What would it be?
It's kind of a hard one.
We really like Dixieland Delight in our
Spend my
Warm-ups.
dollar.
Yes.
I love that song. That brings me back to the UW Green Bay days too. Who hates losing on the team the most, aside from the coaches?
I feel like Cammie or
Cammie.
you?
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
don't
say
know.
Claire.
Cammie's very
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. She sounds like the way she runs on the
Yes.
court and she just gets red in the face.
Yes.
I can just see her getting red in the face after a loss
Yes.
for sure.
All right, finish this sentence. Last question here. This UWGB team is blank.
Special.
I like that answer. Special.
We'll go with special. All right, unfortunately, that's all the time we got for. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Sports Lounge. For Indiana Shield, Sean Kornowski.
Kornowski, you got it.
I was so close to having a perfect show. Jenna Geyer and Maddie Skorupski.
Score up.
Skorupski. We're signing off. Thanks for tuning in, guys.